His dream was...
Some of the scenes from a brilliant Oaks Day where there were 74,163 people here. It was the second largest Oaks Day crowd in history. It really was a wonderful day at Flemington, and we're looking for not quite as big a crowd, but still a wonderful day of racing today. Speaking of fashion, by the way, we actually have had a couple of calls about your tyres. And
what do you think?
I reckon they look spectacular.
This is the Bart Cummings tie.
What are they? Bart's 10 Melbourne Cup winners,
They're
is
Bart's 10 Melbourne Cup winners in all the colours of those horses, so it's a pretty unique tie, I think.
Well, I think we should congratulate Warrie Hatton, who is the designer and distributor of those tyres, and they're a great memento. There are so many mementos now for Melbourne Cup carnivals, and there's just one of them. It's come up brilliantly, and so have you, considering what you've been up to last week. Runners are in the mounting yard for the first, and we're going to take a look at them now. And this is the opening race, the Magic Coles Handicap over 1,100 metres at 11:30. And we should also count down to the big one, the Emirates Stakes, Emirates Classic the other day. And we've got 3.5 hours or a little less. Now, what about this big grey horse, Jen?
Yes, I think Any Rhythm does have a bit of a chance here. Racing in extremely good form. Had the 3 runs this campaign and won each of those and carried big weights on some occasions as well. That Sandown win was very good, I thought, Peter, able to lead there and keep going. So I'm sure he'll give a good start.
Does go up 4 kilos, but he looks the type that might be able to carry the weight too. Number 2, A Streak, first run for more than 7 months, but the stable, the Robbie Smurden stable, often produces one first up.
Yes, and at his first up run last time in, he did get back and ran on very well at Geelong. So his first up form might need to be respected in this race. I'm just a little worried whether or not he needs a bit further than this.
Blinkers come off. Number 3, Kilkea. Shane Dodd takes the ride for Bart Cummings, and it's having its first run for more than 5 months, but did chase a horse called Encounter home here earlier this year.
Well, this horse is having its first run also for Bart. Used to be with Ken Keys, and back in January it was a very good effort behind Encounter. Now, you do have to respect that form. Certainly fitter for a trial recently at Cranbourne as well, and the blinkers come off, so there was some chance, a good chance in fact.
Number 4, Vanderhaar's probably drawn on the preferred side here, Jen. Lucas Dowson rides for Steve McKinnon, has won both of its runs this preparation in the bush.
Terrific win at Sale when Vanderhaar was 3 wide there, and then came up and won at Mornington as well, and 2 strong on that occasion. Definitely one of the main chances in the race.
Blinkers go back on number 5, Amalfi Drive. The informed Brett Preble, the rider for Leon Corstens, having its second run this preparation.
Yes, definitely fitter for that run, Amalfi Drive. The drop back in distance, I'm a bit concerned about that for her in this race, and she does have the blinkers back on again. That might help her, but place chance at best for me.
Melbourne Cup winning jockey Chris Muntz rides number 6, Felice Navidad for Mick Price, first up after more than 4 months.
It's easy to say, isn't it, Peter?
Yes.
6 starts this horse has had, and she has had only 1 start on the dry, and she won that. All the rest have been on the slow or dead going. So I think back on the dry here probably gets a chance.
She has been easy out, $3.90 from her opening quote. Let's have a look at Wage, number 7, and see what it's done in the tote betting as we take a look at this horse. And it is to be ridden by Jason Patton for Jeff McKenzie, and you can see it's been very easy out, $5.80 to $19.20. Obviously likes a Chuka.
Yes, Chuka is where Wage does come from, but Peter, all that form is provincial form, and I've got to say, I just don't think that he will come up to this type of grade here. He's a little bit toey there. Looks quite well,
yeah, nice
but
time, isn't he?
I've got to say no, not in this.
Number 8, Dr. Dazzle, to be ridden by Damien Oliver, one of 2 Leon Corstens runners in the race, and this horse carried 58 kilos when beaten into second placing at Geelong.
Yes, it wasn't a bad effort there. Very lightly raced, and he does like to race up on the pace. Hasn't done a lot wrong to date, so I think with the weight drop he comes in with a chance.
And you would think that number 9, Coronation Jubilee, right down the bottom, one trained by Anthony Cummings and ridden by Dwayne Dunn, is still a maiden, and it's going to be long odds, as you can see there.
Yes, and I do think that Coronation Jubilee needs a little bit further as well.
Let's have a look at the complete tote call now for the first event. You've seen all the runners there for the Magic Coles Handicap. Dan Malicki has made his way from the track to the commentary box and can run us through the first.
Any Rhythm, the favourite, Peter, $2.40, which is short enough on the tote. Bookmakers are betting better odds.
streak at 8.20, which is huge overs. Now, we've got 3 Kilkea, 4 Van der Haar, 5 Amalfi Drive, all on the market, and likewise number 8 Dr. Dazzle. So a number of horses inside double figures on the tote. But in some cases, Goss, it doesn't quite reflect what the bookmakers are doing.
Not at all, Dan. The best back runner is number 2 Streak here. You can get 7-1 on the tote. It's 4 points shorter in the ring. It's been really the only horse that has been heavily commissioned. The top weight has got the wobbles, Any Rhythm. Not much separates them on the bookmakers' boards. Close on the tote, but easily the best back runner is number 2 Streak.
So that's the one they've come for, and there is the map, 1,100 metres for the Magic Coles handicap, and I think they'll be making a beeline for the outside here because that was by far the faster part of the track over the earlier races in the carnival. Kilkea from Jenny Chapman, Feliz Navidad from Richard Friedman, Any Rhythm from John, Gary and Dan, and I've gone for Van der Haar, and Jen's trifecta here in the first is
3, 4 and 8.
3, 4 and 8 for those of you who like to follow. And Bart's followed because he's got his tie on. And Milton Black, well, he's got his prognosticator's hat on, and maybe he might be able to find us a winner. Maybe the first. It's coming up shortly. We'll be back with that on the other side of this break. Picnics on the lawns going on. It is a very pleasant day. It was actually 24 degrees in Melbourne at 9 o'clock this morning, but that may be foreboding something that might be coming a little bit later. They're talking about a storm maybe through at about 2:30, and there's Any Rhythm going up to the gates for the first of our 9 races on the final day of the carnival. And there's old Pato there, the man who puts the polish on Banjo, and we should say hello to the man who does look after Banjo, Letzi.
Yeah, actually, Howard Moon is not down with us this year from Wodonga, and Harold's always down here with Banjo. I think he walks about 25 kilometres a day with him, but he's not well at the moment. But hi, Harold. Have a good one.
Yeah, Banjo's so much a part of the carnival now, and let's hope we see him back here in 12 months' time.
Pete, we actually had a female rider on Sub-Zero yesterday, didn't we?
We did indeed, and we might be talking about that a little bit later on. I won't release this, but a little trivia question for people. Who was the national television personality who rode a Melbourne Cup winner at Flemington?
What, Chris Muntz?
No. I'll give you the answer a little bit later on.
And rode it on the Friday too, and the Cup's held on the Tuesday.
Oh, good on you, Letzi. You've just given it right away there. Let's go to Tim Gossage and try and get some sanity out of this. Timothy?
Oh, thanks for the compliment. Bit of money for Van der Haar and Kilkea. Easy the top 2, but Van der Haar best back late in the ring.
OK, Tim, thanks very much. They're at the gates here, 1,100 metres. Now, the gates, as you will see, are placed in the middle of the racecourse here. So the theory is that it is equidistant from the middle of the gates to the inside and outside running rails. But I don't think there's too much doubt, Rich, that, well, yeah, that is actually misleading because it looks as though the gates have been placed on the outside, but the middle drawn horse there is actually right in the middle of the track. So that's why it looks like that.
I don't think there's much doubt that they'll all go to the outside rail today, and you'll see them running down that timber fence.
All right, well, they're coming up pretty quickly. Dan Malicki is in the commentary box. Gary Willits is with him. What did you make of these, Gary?
Yes, they all look pretty good. I thought Any Rhythm looked pretty good, and Streak, I thought that's done a treat, and it should run pretty well. I think they'll run pretty good time down here today, Dan. It's that wind, they'll get the shelter from the big stands, and they'll run down this outside rail, and I think the horse that can get hard up against the outside rail is going to have the decided advantage.
Well, Van der Haar is closest to the outside rail. Very well known name, particularly in VFL, AFL ranks, Van der Haar.
You notice a few of them are sweating up. It's pretty high humidity here today.
Any Rhythm the favourite. It's a grey, so it'll stand out. They're all set for race number 1. Final day of the carnival. Magic Coles handicap. Gates crashed back. Kilkea missed the start a length or so. Van der Haar began well, as did Any Rhythm, and they're all heading over to the grandstand side of the track. Feliz Navidad just in behind them. Also, Dr. Dazzle will race handy towards the lead. Then came My Wage, Amalfi Drive, and the Gold Cap is the closest towards the inside. And then came Streak, who's up against the outside rail, but a couple of lengths off the lead. Van der Haar in front of Any Rhythm. Dr. Dazzle third, My Wage fourth, and then came Amalfi Drive. Just behind those runners, Feliz Navidad from Streak, Coronation Jubilee, and Kilkea last. Onto the course proper, 500 left to go. Van der Haar led, Any Rhythm second, Dr. Dazzle third, then My Wage, Amalfi Drive. Streak is under the whip, and then Feliz Navidad and Kilkea running up behind them from Coronation Jubilee. Van der Haar led, Any Rhythm going up to it, then Dr. Dazzle, My Wage, and Kilkea running on. Any Rhythm going to Van der Haar. Then came Dr. Dazzle, My Wage, and Kilkea. Van der Haar tackled by the favourite, Any Rhythm. Any Rhythm going up to Van der Haar, and then Dr. Dazzle. Any Rhythm took the lead though. Any Rhythm put his neck in front, and Any Rhythm wins it. Any Rhythm first has beaten Van der Haar. Feliz Navidad run third. Then Dr. Dazzle and Kilkea, Coronation Jubilee. Streak did little, and then My Wage and Amalfi Drive at the tail of the field.
Yes, a very good win. Any Rhythm, ridden by Greg Childs. Sat one off the outside rail, and I've just run a second outside the track record, so it's held by Mr. Cube at 1:23, so I've run 1:03.3. Here they are, arrowed here. Really stands out, the grey with Greg Childs on it. He's travelling very well here. I actually thought he'd win a bit easier than what he did. But the other horses really put the pressure on him. And he's Van der Haar, but under Greg Childs' riding, he's got the stick out now, just asked him for that extra effort. Van der Haar, Lucas Dowson's mount really fights back, and Greg Childs has to pull out all stops.
Any Rhythm, the winner of the event, Anthony Cummings. It's been a decent carnival for Anthony, particularly the latter end, and he saddled up the winner, and an impressive winner, Any Rhythm, Mark.
Yes, he certainly has. It has been an impressive carnival for you.
Yeah, well, I had a bit of a run of luck on Thursday, and pleased to see it back up today. We've only had the two runners today in this race, and pleased to see Any Rhythm get the money.
And ran pretty good time too.
Yeah, ran nice time. I mean, he's like an above-average sprinter, I think. We'll probably give him a short break now and have him back for some of the better races through the autumn. He's probably got one more restricted race in him, and then we'll take him into open company, but I think he'll make the step up really very comfortably.
Pretty impressive last start too, wasn't he?
Well, he's been impressive really his last four now. He won with 62 or 61 kilos in a provincial race. Won well last time at Sandown. So, you know, his form, this preparation really has been very solid.
Congratulations, Anthony.
Yeah, thanks very much.
Anthony Cummings, the winning trainer, and there is that big strapping grey gelding with the ability to carry weight, and he's done that here in the first. Numbers are 1, 4 and 6. Any Rhythm, the winner, will be back with the correct weight signal and dividends on the Magic Coles Handicap. On the left of screen, after having ridden Feliz Navidad into third placing, but there is the winning rider, and that is Greg Childs, carrying the big weight of 58 kilos for Anthony Cummings. He weighs in. Van der Haar was the horse that ran second in the pink and white quarters. There's Chris Muntz going up onto the scales now. And Des Gleeson is about to declare correct weight or otherwise after the first numbers there, 1, 4 and 6, and they ran quick time, 1:03.3. And there is Lucas Dowson, the rider of Van der Haar, the second place getter. So they do weigh down to 6th. The reason for that is because there is prize money down to 5th. So, as we saw in the Caulfield Cup, if you've run 6th, you can throw in a protest. That's what Chris Muntz did on that day, unsuccessfully. But he got some consolation a couple of weeks later when he won a little race called the Melbourne Cup. Damien Oliver also weighs in. Des Gleeson heads over to the desk, checks all the facts and figures, and there is correct weight. Brought to you by Maggi, the sponsors of the Magic Coles Handicap. 1, 4 and 6 the numbers after the first, so let's check the dividends with Dan Milley.
Any Rhythm, $2.50 for the win and $1.30 the place. Van der Haar, $2.70, and Feliz Navidad, $3.30. Quinella, $10.10. The trifecta, $156. for 1, 4 and 6 on race number 1.
Pretty good trifecta there, Dan, too, amongst the panel. We managed to find that, so hope you've had a good start. $156.80 the trifecta. Well, of course, we're all looking forward to the Emirates Stakes a little bit later on, but there are probably going to be some 8,000 to 10,000 people here at Flemington today simply to see might and power going around in the Queen Elizabeth Stakes. And Mark Aston has caught up with Might and Power's jockey, Jimmy Cassidy.
Well, we are waiting in anticipation for Might and Power's race, the Queen Elizabeth Stakes, and Jimmy Cassidy will be aboard the champ. You a bit nervous?
No, pretty relaxed actually. Look, I always look forward to riding him, and you know, it's a special occasion, and just be good to be on him here today.
How's the build-up for this race compared to his last wonderful win?
Oh, probably a little bit smaller today. It's being a Group 2 race and not a Group 1, but look, they're all here to be won, and I've changed nothing. Just go into it with the same frame of mind, confident, and just give him a nice ride.
Jimmy, same game plan in terms of leading?
Look, I'll just wait and see. Don't look to be any leaders, so I'd be happy just to lob along in front.
Have you got an update on the Japan Cup? Everyone wants to know. Will he go?
Look, I haven't had a yes or a no yet, so I'm sort of pretty much in the air like everyone else, Mark. But, you know, I'm hoping he goes. It'd be great for Australia if he does.
Good luck today and good luck for the future.
Thank you, mate.
Next event is race 2. Here are our Cadbury favourites, and we do wish Jimmy Cassidy the best of luck. Why have you gone for Real Jester, Jen?
Oh, well, the Hayes camp, you did see them on Tuesday with their young 2-year-old Dance Baby Dance, and I think they can do it again with this very smartly bred young horse.
Rich has gone for Testarossa. Appropriately, Johnny Letts has gone for Walk the Wild Side. Cloister from Gary Willits, Real Jester from Dan, and Montvert for me after finishing off its race really well at Moonee Valley. As the cars continue to roll in down by the Maribyrnong River, the presentation is right for the Magic Coles Handicap, and here is our Master of Ceremonies, Rob Gaylard. Okay, we just have a little bit of a problem with Rob's mic, but that presentation going on down in the mounting yard, and we do thank Magic Coles for their sponsorship, and indeed all of the sponsors who've been a part of the week here at Flemington. We might have a look at the tote call for race 2 and elaborate on the selections a bit. Montvert, well, he certainly finished off his race at Moonee Valley, Jen.
Yes, it was a good effort, and he seems a very honest type of horse too, Peter. It looks like a good race.
Testarossa looks a good racehorse too. I like the way he went to the line at Caulfield.
Yeah, that's why I selected him. I thought he went to the line strongly. They really spaced the other 2-year-olds in that event, and he's drawn a nice wide alley, so that'll get him across to the outside rail quickly, and I think he can lead up the straight and win.
Cloister at $6.90, Prince Benbara $11.40. Well, he flew home at the Valley. Real Jester Walk the Wild Side. Both chances. I think we might be able to get down to the presentation. So once again, here's Rob.
Thank you very much, Peter, and thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. A little bit more voice after 4 days, but the first and the fourth of this fabulous carnival here at Flemington is the Magic Coles Handicap. Representing the VRC and making the presentation, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. David Christensen.
Thank you very much, Rob. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, VRC is delighted to be associated once again with Magic Coles, who has sponsored this race. Magic and Coles are well known to us for the delivery of quality and delivery of their goods and services, and we thank them for their continued support. The race was won in brilliant style by Any Rhythm and by Mr. and Mrs. Robert Crabtree, and we congratulate them very much on their victory. Mr. Robert Crabtree will accept the trophy. Congratulations, Robert.
Well done to the connections of Any Rhythm. More wins in store because that horse does have the ability to carry weight. And congratulations to those connections. And there is the big grey horse after winning the first. Well, that's just about it from the panel discussion over the 4 days. I must say it's been an absolute delight to have you here at the start of the day. I couldn't think of 3 people I'd rather start the day off with. Especially you, Jen.
I think you ought to get a life.
Yeah.
I think I probably should, although...
It wasn't very sincere the way you said that.
No, look, it is very sincere, but I am just a fraction worried about one of the members of the panel.
Oh, I am too.
Yeah, and I should warn you, and we're going to show you the reason for this. Some viewers may find some of this footage disturbing.
This looks a nice shot.
All right, let's wander in there, Letsy.
Okay.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. May I be of any help?
Hi, we're looking for an outfit for tomorrow's Oaks meeting.
Yes, did you have anything in mind in particular?
Well, what colours are in at the moment?
Well, we're doing black and cream. We've got a lovely khaki and mustard story. We've got beautiful tangerine and blue in linen, and then we're doing a pale grey story.
What sort of money?
Well, jackets around the $650, skirts around $250, and dresses around $400.
And hats?
Yes, we've got a variety of hats, depending, of course, of which outfit that you choose.
Can you show us around?
Yes, I'd love to.
Now, Jen, I must say, when I saw this piece of footage, our producer Murray Lomax showed it to us this morning. I thought, isn't that lovely of John to go out and buy an outfit for Annie?
Yes, and Annie's a delightful lady. I'm sure she would have been enjoyed some of these outfits.
Yeah, and there's so much work goes into picking the outfits, Rich, and, you know, I just thought that's typical of the bloke, let's see, isn't it?
It doesn't look like he knows a lot about it, just the same.
Well, I had Mark with me. I wanted a second opinion.
Well, he's put in the time and effort, and, you know, selecting the right colour is very important, and selecting the right hat is also very important. And you really put a lot of effort into this, and I think you came up with possibly the right one at the end.
There's some beautiful gear in this shop.
Didn't like that one? Okay. Well, maybe this might be the one.
That's the one. Absolutely stunning. That is it.
Fantastic.
You look absolutely stunning.
Well, I've tried my best for you.
I always knew it.
That's it.
I knew it.
They've been talking for years. Now, come on. Come clean here. What's the
Is there a horse in today called Cross-Dresser? Because I'm going to back it.
You enjoyed that, didn't you? You actually
Well, actually, it
enjoyed
felt good. I can
I actually
say.
enjoyed it just a little bit too much, I think.
How did you go with the pantyhose?
I would just like to thank Bruce for following me around all day on Thursday. I don't know who Bruce was, but he followed me all day.
We'd also like to thank Mark Aston, who's down in the mounting yard. Did you put him up to that, or did you have to twist his arm, or did he twist yours?
Oh, no, he was the one that suggested it. Pete, you know, in life there are things that you really wish you could have your time again, and I think that is one of them. There is no doubt about it.
If I ever see you walking out of a shop with a girl looking like that again, you don't want to do that.
He's the girl next to you.
I had a bit of explaining to do.
Good on you, Mark. Thanks, guys. It's been terrific. And out to Banjo.
Another great year, Pete.
Rich, good luck with Buster later on.
Thanks, mate. We need it.
And Jennifer?
Yes?
Off to the mounting yard.
Let's go.
OK, let's go. And let's go to the marquee now to take us through the next portion of our telecast. Here she is, the beautiful Sandra Sully, and a jockey of some note herself.
Oh, can't say too much, Peter. I've got to say, it's a hard act to follow. I think the mischief makers extraordinaire are reigning supreme this morning. But anyway, we're down to the marquee, and it's great to have you with us today. Of course, plenty more racing to look forward to. 8 more races to go on this year's Melbourne Cup Carnival. So there's still plenty of luck waiting in the wings. Now, if not on the races, then maybe in our Magi Phantom Call competition, and we will be announcing the winners of that this afternoon. If you need a little advice from the heavens, then here's Milton Black with another of his astrological guides to winning at Flemington.
Ruthless terror.
With a couple of his tips for the week, and they have been pretty successful, I've got to say. I think Milton next year could give our own Richard Friedman a bit of a run for his money. I hope he's listening. With those unfortunate tips that you gave me the other day, Richard, I'll never let you live it down. I think I'm going to have to stick with Jenny Chapman and Peter Donegan. We like Pisces. We like Pisces a lot. What should I go for today? Just keeping a close eye. There you go. It is family day here at Flemington, and as you can see, plenty of young children out and about enjoying themselves, as they should be. Loads of fun for them to participate in, and of course they'll be wandering down to the marquee, causing all sorts of mayhem a little bit later, so I better watch my cables and things, or I could be in all sorts of trouble. Well, as well as the action on the track, there is always plenty going on behind the scenes. Earlier this week, Lynn Talbot looked at one of the most important backstage operations for the Cup.
The Spring Racing Carnival is no longer just an Australian event. When Irish stayer Vintage Crop raced to victory in 1993, the Melbourne Cup was catapulted into the international arena. This year, 8 international horses have made the journey down under to contest our greatest race. For many, it begins on the other side of the world. Some of this year's entrants first have to face a 24-hour flight courtesy of Singapore Airlines. Transported in their own specially designed first-class seat, these equine equator hoppers receive the very best treatment. On arrival in Melbourne, they're transported directly to the specially set up quarantine station at Sandown Raceway. It's not the most glamorous place, but it's fascinating. We caught up with VRC veterinary steward Paul O'Callaghan. Well, it's a fairly new facility here, obviously designed for your specific needs.
Yes, we've designed this to accommodate horses from 3 different continents and to keep them in quarantine so to prevent diseases transmitting to Australian horses.
Now, what disease are you most worried about?
The big disease is equine influenza.
The horse flu?
The horse flu, exactly. 14 days of being monitored in England or wherever they've come from, and then 14 days here again. And all the time their health is monitored very closely to ensure that these diseases like influenza aren't present in the horses, and all movement of personnel and horses is monitored to keep records of any possible outbreaks.
And you've even got a horse surgery.
Yes, we've got a surgery which also has to be in quarantine because we couldn't take it to a regular hospital and take the risk of transmitting disease to our horses. So we've set up a surgery table in the government quarantine centre identical to the setup at the Melbourne University.
So they really get the red carpet treatment, don't they?
Yes, well, we've got very expensive horses and it's an international event, so we really have to put on a good show.
Now, it does cost a lot of money to bring a horse out here. Has anyone put a figure on it?
It's going to vary just a little bit in where they come from and how many staff they bring, but probably between $60,000 to $100,000 Australian. So if you're going to bring a horse out here, you've got to be pretty serious about winning some money to get that back.
I think we'll find a little more glamorous Lynn Talbot out on the lawns. Lynn, what happened to those boots and overalls?
They're a good look, aren't they, Sandra? The gumboots and the overalls. I was thinking of wearing them very seriously on Cup Day, you know, but decided to wear a lovely Lucy DeBella number instead. And, of course, she's got a shop down here and just about to open in Sydney. And today I'm wearing Thomé. Of course, this day is the day for kids, and adults tend to dress down slightly. But Sandra will be going over to the kiddies fashions on the field, sponsored by Maya and TIAC later, and there's always some gorgeous littlies up there on stage, and also the older ones as well. We have toddlers to teens fashion competitions, so looking forward to that.
Of course, Lynn. Oh, there he is, Mr. Quartermain, sports presenter for Channel 10 Melbourne, with his little boy Jack there. He was saying all week he was looking forward to bringing him out, so they'll be having lots of fun, as all the families do here at Flemington, and particularly in the 10 Marquee. As you can see, a very carnival atmosphere, which is very appropriate this week. Well, back to business, and 2 weeks ago at Moonee Valley, he brought the packed crowd to a hush when he stepped up to the microphone. Jack Denham is a man of few words, but when he speaks, people listen.
Pick the odd one out. Shane Dye, Gai Waterhouse and Jack Denham. The answer, of course, is racing's Mr. Silent, Jack Denham. While others have the gift of the gab, Jack just does his own thing. And last year, not even the magnificent performances of Might and Power could bring him to the microphone. Since then, he's mellowed a little, but there's no doubt his reluctance to talk has made him something of a cult figure among racegoers. The Caulfield and Melbourne Cup double by Might and Power last year was overdue recognition of a fine career, which at times has seemed cursed by bad luck. Narrow defeats have followed Jack through the spring. Most notably, Natski just failed to match Empire Rose.
Natski won't make it, and the big mare wins.
And in 1996 and 1997, Falante twice had to settle for second in the Cox Plate. Jack has in recent years given his son Alan most of the race day duties, and the pair have gathered a good depth of quality gallopers. His efforts mightn't have Jack shouting from the rafters, but they've certainly brought a smile to Mr. Silent's face.
Very enigmatic Jack Denham. Let's count down to the big race today, the Emirates Stakes. Race 6 on the card. There's the countdown clock. Just, well, almost 3 hours, 2 hours and 48 minutes to go. Peter and Jenny are in the mounting yard with all the details on race 2. And Pete, this is a race for the babies.
Yes, it is, Sandra, and they've got some form up here too, because 6 of the 11 runners, Jennifer, have